Hello, welcome back to Bodyweight Calisthenics Home, which is a YouTube channel dedicated to my personal calisthenics transformation, which started only 2 months ago. In the last 2 months, I've learned so much, and I've learned a lot about technique and form, and technique and form, I've learned, is one of the most important things. You can do exercises all wrong and they have little benefit, and actually they can risk injury. So it's really important that you get the technique and form correct. And how I've learned about technique and form is I've watched lots of videos, and also I've put videos on YouTube, and I've taken lots of advice from subscribers who know a lot more than me. So in this short video, I'm going to share with you everything I've learned about press-ups, so that if you're a beginner, hopefully this will help you fast track and improve your technique on press-ups. Of course, it goes without saying, before you try any exercise, take all reasonable precautions. I have to offer a disclaimer: I can't be responsible for injuries that you cause to yourself. Now, before I get started on my workouts, I always do a warm-up on this rowing machine behind me and some good stretching exercises. So make sure that you do that before you go ahead. So let's get into this and talk about all the things I've learned about press-ups to perform the perfect press-up. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background to this before I get started. When I started my calisthenics journey 2 months ago, I could only do one press-up on the floor, and I started off doing press-ups inclined against this frame here to my right. Then I moved on to doing an incline press-up on a box, a bedding box. I'm in my garage here. This is my homemade gym. And then eventually I progressed to doing a small number of horizontal press-ups on the floor, and I'm now at the stage where I can do 3 sets, a 9, a 9 and a 10. And each time I do a set, I'm looking to try and do a little bit more to get progressive overload and just try and make myself a little bit stronger each time. And I have noticed in the space of only 2 months, my chest has grown by 1.5 inches. I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling much more powerful. My clothes, my t-shirts, which used to be baggy around my chest, are feeling a bit tighter. So this really does work. So I would urge you, if you're thinking of partaking on an exercise routine like this, to just get started and learn on the job, as I've done. Get a little bit of basic knowledge, but then learn on the job. Take all reasonable precautions. Now look at this here. In the bottom of this corner here, it says 480 subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you want to follow my progress, please do subscribe. Let's see how quickly we can get that figure up to 500 subscribers, and then let's see how quickly it can get up to 1,000 subscribers, which is what I need to monetize my channel. And that will be a bit of a tick in a box for me, because I've always paid to go to gyms, and it seems like a kind of a nice kind of coincidence that I could turn it around and actually start to get paid for coming to my gym. So yeah, please hit the subscribe and notifications bell. Now let's get on to these press-ups. So you'll notice when I start doing these press-ups, there's a particular stance. Now, you do see a lot of people knocking out press-ups in the gym or even at home, and they've got their elbows splayed up like this and they're pushing like this. Now, apparently the correct technique, and the reason it's the correct technique is because you want to avoid injuries to your shoulders, is to have your arms at an angle. And you'll observe that when I start doing these press-ups. So arms at an angle, and incidentally, it affects which muscle groups it exercises, whereabouts you have your hands. So if you have them lower down compared to higher up, or even higher up, it affects which groups of muscles it actually exercises. So I'm just going for a standard press-ups where my hands will be virtually below my pecs. Okay. You'll also notice that my feet are about the same width apart as my shoulders, and I will rock forward on my toes as I go down, and I'll go slowly all the way down to the floor. And it's important to go slowly because that's the eccentric motion, and the eccentric motion is just as important as the concentric motion. In other words, the relaxing and the releasing down is just as important as the pushing up. And I'm going to do both those very slowly, because it's all about time under tension. The longer your muscles are under tension, the better the workout is, the better the exercise is. My back and my body will be straight like a board. I'll be engaging my core and I'll be engaging my glutes. And when I get to the top of the motion, the top of the range of the motion, I'll be pushing the floor away from me. I think it was the technomage said, imagine there's a piece of cat poo on the ground here. Imagine pushing yourself away from that cat poo so that you're pushing yourself into the top end of the motion. And so you're really expanding that range of motion to its fullest. So let's get on and do a couple now. And I will try and talk through as I do them whilst I'm doing them. And hopefully what I've just explained, you'll be able to see. And by the way, if you are a beginner, take these points on board. But also, I would ask all my subscribers who are experts, who know so much more than me, if you see me doing something that you think I could improve slightly, then please do comment in the boxes below this video. And if you're a beginner, read those comments. I've said this before, it's the comments below my videos where the conversation takes place, where there's so much expert knowledge, and I would urge anyone who's beginning, who's starting on the journey of perfecting the technique of press-ups, to read those comments too. So again, if you're an expert, give me some tips. If you think what I'm doing is slightly wrong, it can be improved, or if you've got any additional interesting information to add. So let's get on now and do some of these press-ups. I'm going to put the microphone, which is what this is, just here on the mat in front of me. So I've got my shoulders below my pecs. Well, the other thing I didn't mention was if you have a grip like you're squeezing a piece of paper on the floor, it takes the pressure off your wrists. And the hands should be pointing in a natural direction away from your arms. If they're twisted for one side or another, it will put extra strain on your wrist. So you'll observe now that my hands are pointing in the same direction as the angle of my arm is to my body. So up we go into almost a plank, hands gripped, hands below my chest, body straight, core engaged, and I'm just going to go slowly all the way down to the floor, touch my nose, and then push all the way back up. And then at the top, I'm going to push out as if there's that piece of cat poo, and then I'm going to slowly go all the way down again, and then slowly all the way up again, and then push away. And all the time I was doing that, I had my core engaged, my glutes engaged, my body was straight, my bum wasn't sticking up, my hips weren't dropping to the floor. And that was 2 press-ups. And I can tell you that I felt the tension in my muscles, I felt the strain, and I felt the effort that was required. And I know as I'm doing that effort and that tension is going towards making me stronger and making my muscles bigger. Now, another little thing here that I've learned, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, experts, the shorter the number of reps at the higher intensity will give you more strength. Whereas if you do a lower intensity and you do more reps in your sets, you'll get bigger muscle growth. So there's a kind of a continuum between tension. You can do tension games and tension exercise and play around with the tension. And by doing that, you can either go for strength or muscle growth, and you can do a mixture of the two. And in today's workout, which I'll do another video on, workout 22, I'm going to go for it today because of the week I've had. I've had to skip a couple of workouts, so I'm really going to try and make up that lost ground today and put everything into it. Don't worry, I will be doing my warm-ups and my stretches, and I don't want to risk injury. I'm 55 years old. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful. Perfecting the perfect press-up. I'll carry on and do the other 3 sets now, and I'll probably put them in this video in fast forward so that you get just as proof that I've done them. I don't want you to think I'm slacking. And I'll get on with the rest of the workout. I'll film bits of it, and I'll do a separate video for workout 22 as well. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.